We're beginning. What is the title of this podcast?
Emma Brad.
Hello, welcome to the podcast.
If you didn't catch that, we don't quite have a name yet.
This is episode 37.
Yes.
38.
38.
When we established. We're joined by a very special guest today. She goes by the name of Emma Frad.
Yes. And we have a little goblin in the corner.
Right along.
You can't see her.
But it's a pleasure to have Emma. We should let you know before she opens her mouth that she is an Australian.
It's true.
So just
100%.
get ready for that. You know?
So we've got a mixture of accents today.
Really?
True, you're not even Kiwi.
I'm not even a Kiwi. People often are shocked at that, to be honest. I'm like, hey, Chuck, I'll be thee. And they're like, oh, so where in Australia
You're
are
an
you from?
Eskimo?
Yes, I am. Yes.
But anyway, so today we are going to be we don't have a title because we didn't think of a title.
But it's going to be something along the lines of Emma Frad's here and creativeness and Catholicism and stuff.
Yeah, like how to be a creative Catholic in the secular world.
With Emma Frad.
With Emma Frad.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
glad we had him.
Emma, why don't you just introduce yourself,
Sure.
and then we can go from there.
Hello. No, I can't do your accent. G'day. My name's Emma, and I am Catholic, and I live in Brisbane. I work for Net Ministries. They're a pretty cool ministry. But in my spare time, I like to play a lot of music. I'm currently in a band called Heaps Good Friends, who are not Christian. The guys in my band aren't Christian. We write really silly music. But I do a bit of my own music as well, which is kind of all about God, but it's not necessarily, well, it's not worship music. I also like a good cup of coffee and having a dance.
Oh, very good.
Man.
So I can tell you've been in youth ministry for a while. Those last two facts.
Yeah. Well, we don't have coffee today. We do have tea from T2.
Yeah.
Do
What's it called?
support us. This one is called Hobart Breakfast.
Hobart.
That's my
Hobart
Aussie
breakfast.
accent.
Hobart breakfast.
Sorry to all you
Don't be
Aussies out there. Do you think it needs a bit more brewing?
I don't know.
I think it does, maybe.
Okay, we'll get a lot of
We'll leave it
brew.
a bit longer. But I mean, so you're saying you work for Net, and how long have you been working there?
A long time. I volunteered in Canada for 2 years, and then I worked on like Canada stuff for 4 years, and then I've been in Australia for 1 year on stuff, so like 7 years.
I do feel like a valued employee there. What's your net worth? I guess you could say.
Look, not a lot.
See what I did there?
I'm afraid to
I just wanted to
leave,
say
or-
that part, and that was
Oh
it.
my gosh, we were talking about how my name sounds like I'm afraid.
Be not afraid.
Be not afraid. That sounds like a campaign to get me back.
And actually, Emma's going to be leading a catechesis, cafe
Very
catechesis
excited.
night tonight.
Manawa. Is that right?
Well, I don't know what you
Manawa?
said. Manurewa.
Manawa? The goblin's just confirming. So yeah, I'm from England. I can't even speak New Zealandish. Anyway, so yeah, we've been doing. There's been a lot going on recently, I guess, on Facebook with the idea of like a Catholic creative network and talking
Shout out.
talking about using our skills, God-given gifts for like Catholic ends. But like, I feel like sometimes we do get a bit lost in that. Like, our human minds are so small. It's like, okay, I'm only painting pictures of Jesus now. Jesus, God has given me this thing of art that I can do, so I'm going to do that. Or like, I have to do, every song has to be about God, and so it kind of cheapens our skills a bit. But like,
That's a good way of saying it.
what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, cool. I like what you said. I think, yeah, that's a nice way to say it. It cheapens your skills. I think, I know for me, like after I kind of converted, I guess, and got into my faith, I was very like, Jesus, like sold my Xbox and like
Really?
so I could like fundraise for Net.
All right, okay, not
But,
because
So you used to have a box, now it's an Xbox. Sorry. Okay.
And I definitely went through a phase of like Jesus, which isn't necessarily bad. Obviously, Jesus is the best.
he is.
But I also think like it kind of makes you a bit untouchable and unrelatable to people who aren't of faith, and like we're not called to just stay in a bubble, we're called to go out and you can still paint a Christian image, if you will, or write a Christian song without painting Jesus on a cross or singing about God. So
Well, there's a quote that Dom loves, and he always says, And I don't even need to tell them which one it is.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the
Well,
problem.
it wasn't actually that one. It wasn't that
That's what
one.
I was saying.
No, the one about Martin Luther and the shoes.
Oh, the shoes one.
Go on.
Martin Luther said,
Thank you.
a good Christian shoemaker doesn't make shoes with crosses on. He makes good shoes.
That's sick. Is that a real quote?
Yeah, like legit.
That's awesome.
Well, it was in German, but
Yeah, so it's like, well, shoe's still shoe in German.
That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I love that point because it's
I'm
like
Schumacher.
no, because as like in prepping for this podcast, we're thinking the Catholic Church, especially over centuries and centuries, has kind of been like a dominant force in art, and often it was Michelangelo. Like if you've ever been to Rome or anywhere in Europe, you'll know this. It's like these kind of priceless artifacts now and works of art that it's like that was leading in the field. Like when you talk about art, you're basically talking religious art, and so it's like we have definitely lost that ground for the most part in terms of like music. Movies is a huge one. You know, like Christian movies just aren't often very good, but you do get some excellent films by Christian directors. You know, and they have really Christian themes underpinning them, things like that. So I guess it's like what you're saying from the outset. There is kind of like also that point of it needs to be accessible to people. Like how are they going to find Jesus? Was it something that like in terms of your journey back to the church, was it like how did art fit into that? Like were you, because I know you said at the beginning you kind of threw your Xbox away, or was there like a kind of Christian
Still my
music?
Xbox, just so everyone
Oh
knows.
man. Well, thanks for joining us for the podcast. No, but like, was there a particular Christian artist or a particular medium, like Christian form of art that kind of helped you to come back to the church, or was that completely separate?
It was kind of separate. Like I was heavy into music when I came back to the church. To be honest, I just found worship a bit simple, and I just couldn't listen to it as I was doing the dishes. Like, I mean, I love worshiping, praying, but I don't listen to worship unless I'm actually praying, because it's just not the kind of music that I like. So I think I saw a gap, and I was like, I want to make music that sounds good, that sounds different than your regular worship. That's actually not worship, but could still show a piece of God.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It still has elements of, I guess, praise, but like you said, wouldn't be used for like a ministry time.
Yeah.
That kind of worship thing.
Yeah, so like you can look at a good painting and be like awestruck by it, and in that you almost meet something of the divine, but like because it's good rather than because it's explicitly about God. I suppose.
Yeah. So you're saying you have your band and you kind of do like just fun stuff, and I think it's really awesome because I'm sure you still have like chances to kind of give a witness, even if it's not like in the music itself, just in the way you can interact with people. But for a lot of the young creative Catholics out there who have like an arty skill and want to start out, like what advice would you give them in terms of putting yourself out there and like developing your skills and things like that?
I don't know. I think kind of depends what it is really. Like, I mean, I think maybe this is easier said than done, but I think like just doing it. Like if you like to paint or draw, like show people, and putting it up on those Facebook pages like Catholic Creatives, like getting people to like comment on it, because I think maybe there's an issue of like not knowing if it's good enough, or like not wanting to do something, but I think the more you share it publicly, the more people can actually affirm you. And even with music, like if you write music, like sharing it with people, like if you've never recorded a song before, like try and seek out opportunities to do that so you can hear yourself back. And
so is it kind of like if you like have a passion for something, let's say it's music or painting, it's sort of like actually make an effort to like try these things out, make your life revolve around it a bit. So it's like, okay, I want to write a song, how do I do that? Well, first I need to learn an instrument, or like I like playing guitar and I want to use this more, so then use it more. And then as you start doing it more, put up videos or give yourself make yourself accountable.
I think so. I mean, some people kind of just paint as a hobby or write music as a hobby, which is fine. It's not like you have to do it publicly. But I think if you want to develop the skill and grow in it more, like put yourself out there and see what happens.
Yeah,
No, it's really
you got to fall off a bike before you can ride it properly. Eh?
Totally. Fall off the
Totally.
bike, guys.
Fall off the bike,
Just get some elbow pads, you'll be fine.
or don't. You know, just be hardcore.
What do you think is what's one of the weirdest lines that you've ever wrote? Like weirdest lyric lines that you've ever wrote?
Probably like the devil picks my scabs and I let him explore, so I don't want to be God anymore.
That is weird.
Wowzers.
It's weird and deep.
That's
Because
awesome,
I've been listening to your music on Spotify, which I just newly downloaded and started using. So I started following it, and like I think your lyrics are just crazy. It's brilliant. It's like you know you've
What is wrong with that?
yeah. So like I was really worried after we said yesterday, because like they just go in different directions, and you expect it to have a certain rhyming pattern. You just like stop it short, like on the next line. You're like, but it works so well.
Takes you off guard.
Yeah, and I think it's it's really edgy and really cool. So I just want to affirm you in that. I think it's really good. So you're a frad.
I am Frad.
There are more than one frads that we hear about. There's Matt Frad, who's your brother, right?
Yep.
And he does various different podcasts, which are really cool. Keen followers of it. So you both seem like pretty like uber Catholic people. Like is that been something that's been in your life for a very long time? Have you been growing up in church and with Aquinas at the table, having discussions about encyclicals and stuff at dinner?
Nah, not quite that. But like, Mama was a Catholic.
Yeah.
And took us to mass, went to a Catholic school. I think me and Matt have a similar story. He kind of strayed away from the faith a bit when he was a bit younger, considered himself an atheist, and then one day Mum was like, there's this thing, World Youth Day, and Matt was like, well, it was in Rome. This was like in the year 2000.
Wow.
Whoa.
So he was like, free trip to Rome, like, cool, thanks, Mum. And then just totally had his life turned around, and it was completely different when he came back.
Oh, really?
Like, he hugged me.
Oh.
He went from like woolly brother to like really nice brother, but he was like on fire.
Good on you, Matt.
Yeah, go Matt.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Oh yeah, he like I hope he doesn't see this, but he told me one time at school
We're gonna tag him.
they were
Definitely
doing like
tag him.
face painting or something. I don't know why for a high school, but the woman was like, "What do you want on your face?" And he was like, "Can I just get Jesus in big gold letters on my face?" And like he was like, everyone would line up at his checkout at Woolies or Countdown.
Because he had Jesus on his face.
No,
Yeah.
because he was like, actually, he was like, I don't know, he's full of the joy of the Lord. People wanted to talk to
That's
him.
awesome.
That's
But I'm
cool.
pretty sure my mum thought that he had been like brainwashed and met with the bishop and was like,
Man.
what's going on?
Right.
Matt, stop fraternizing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How many siblings do you have?
I have two brothers, yeah, Tom, I have a brother Tom as well.
Very cool.
Are they both older or
Yeah, they're both older.
Cool. So that's Matt's story. How about your story?
Yeah, similar except for the Jesus on my face lol, but
You had Mary,
That was
right?
the best
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
like just couldn't, like a lot of my friends were kind of consider themselves atheists in high school, and like I went to a Catholic school but just not very good examples of, I didn't see any teachers that were really practicing, I guess. And I just thought mass was boring, to be honest, and didn't see the point in it. But it was through my brother really encouraging me to pray and like, don't just say God's not real, like give it a go and pray. And I was like, oi, I have prayed, like I have to go to mass every Sunday with Mum, and then the school makes me go every Thursday, like
Yep.
don't tell me I haven't prayed.
Good on you, school.
Yeah.
But yeah. But then he was like, nah, like actually like one-on-one prayer, you and God, like find your own space, say it in your own way, tell him what you need, etc.
I think that's really cool. And in terms of like having something to give in the arena of like Catholic art or just Christian, music and things in general, a guy in the States once told me that, because I told him I'm really struggling to write music that kind of glorifies God, and I find when I go to write music, I just or do stuff, it's kind of just feels like it's just coming from my mind, like it doesn't feel inspired, And so he said, Well, the biggest thing with if you want to do stuff that really is inspired and glorifies God, it has to come from basically like an overflow of your personal life with Jesus, your spiritual life. Because if you're not completely full, like you have no excess, you have nothing else to give, which is not a bad thing necessarily. Like if you're at the stage where you're just trying to work on yourself a bit and your faith and developing. But I've always found that really interesting, and so I've kind of known if I feel kind of dry, like I need to go through a spiritual wet patch, as I call it. You need to. No one ever says that. Eh?
No, just
like at like cell groups and stuff. Just go through a real wet patch in my spirit.
I must teed on myself.
But anyway, so I don't know what you think about that point in relation to your own life. Is that something that you've kind of?
Well, I guess so. Like when you writing music's hard to just like. It's a funny thing. Most of the time it's not something you can just switch on. But I think the way you get better at it is like being like, I'm going to write a song a week, or I'm going to 15 minutes a day. I'm going to try and write something. It's like it actually does get better by practice.
Right.
And I think just giving yourself that I have to finish something, even if I don't like it, it has to be finished.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no! Just with the whole wet patch thing, I think wet patches are great, and it's a great opportunity to be.
Just give me a wet patch.
To journal and write and consider what is God doing in my life, especially if you're feeling overly feelsy, I would say don't be afraid to say if you've written a song. I can't really speak into the art world because I'm crap at drawing, but particularly if you're a musician and you've written a song and you're feeling a bit uncertain, share it with people whose music you like, a friend, or send it to someone whose music that you really look up to, and kind of just be open to get feedback. And be open to feedback that's like, oh, you should work on this a bit more or change this. Try not to get too
precious.
Yeah. But also don't be afraid to just discard that feedback if you don't agree with it as well. It's really a good song would be if you've written a song and you're happy with all the parts, you've considered advice or whatnot and considered changing things, but you're really happy with it all. I know for myself, I have songs I've written and I'm like, oh, I wish I did the bridge differently or whatever. So, but yeah, be open to feedback and sending it to people who can.
Yeah. So it's about surrounding yourself with people that have a similar charism in their creativity.
Yeah.
But also, I guess if you're looking for a sound or a style, like what you were saying before about listening to people's feedback, but then being okay with putting aside that feedback if you think your idea is better. That's how a style or a sound develops. So I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I was wondering about as well, a problem that Christian artists often run into is this, when they want to put themselves out there, is well, we're called to be humble, right? We're not supposed to be glorifying ourselves. And I feel like that can be, that can be a real inhibitor for actually just the amount of initiative it takes to try and put yourself out there. And even just from doing a few gigs, secular gigs, and you kind of get the impression it's people, you do kind of get this rush from people who are oh, you guys are awesome, that even in worship gigs, you have it before, people come up to you and they're like, you guys are amazing. I'm like, well, I hope you're all worshiping.
That's when you reply, so not I, but Christ in me.
When you're going for jobs, right? Why should we employ you?
I'm good at all these things, but
that worketh. And I guess that's the point for people who are wanting to put themselves out there. There is a degree of humility I think that we need to have, but there should also be it's just hard work. You have to do
I think don't be afraid of saying that you've done a good job. I mean, there's a difference between pride and especially with if you're trying to make it in some sort of creative world, you have to tell people. If anyone who went to the Theology of the Body conference at the beginning of October saw me emceeing, every other word I said was talking about Gregorian chat, and it was a bit of a joke, but it was kind of, how else would people hear about it? I love this podcast that we do. I want people to watch it. I don't want to just sell it because it'll make me lots of money, because it won't. It really won't. We looked into it.
I've been meaning to tell you about that actually. We've been getting a stream of revenue, but I've been keeping it.
That's how you got the house deposit. No, but yeah, it's kind of like, you know, don't be afraid to just be like, actually, this is what I've done, and I'm happy with it. It's good.
Yeah.
I enjoy this, and I want to share this with you. Just like you would when you hear a good song from another artist. Like, I love the song. Listen to it.
Yeah.
So I guess the question, because we don't have much time left, but in closing, so it's like, what is next for you, and like, what is it that you're going to be working on?
Cool.
Some time with Shane yourself from Russian.
I've got like 2 plates. On one plate is like great dessert, and like none of the calories stick to you.
Yeah.
That's probably my band, Heaps Good Friends. That's we're doing really well right now.
Okay.
This is my band where it's just a lot of fun, a lot of friendly fun, good lyrics, but it's not a Christian band. That's like, I'm really getting a lot of life out of that, and the guys in my band are just beautiful and full of positiveness. We're like working on an EP, probably going to tour early next year, things like that. On the other half, like, I think since being in that band, I really struggled, like, because a lot of my songs that I write are pretty deep and feely, and it's hard to kind of switch out of friendly, happy, silly to like deep and feely, because everything deep and feely then feels just really fake and dumb. So I have been trying to write a good song for a while. I think I'm going through a bit of a block, which is a thing, but I hope that I can still one day soon find this sound that's just me, because I feel like it's kind of not lost, but a lot of the songs I did write, they were written for a time, and I don't necessarily connect as much with them anymore. Which is where that thing comes into it of like, hey, just do 15 minutes a day or a song a week, like give yourself goals. So hope that can build up to that. Like, I'd love to put out another self kind of album thing. That's always a fun thing. But right now, to be honest, like, a lot of my friends are writing great music, and I'm really loving just helping them get their music out there. It's like, if I can't do it, I'll help you do it. So
sounds awesome.
like, a lot of my favorite Catholic musicians are just like my buddies, you know, who no one knows about, and I feel like people should know about.
Right.
So there's lots of answers.
Oh, very cool. Well, it's very cool, and
thank you for the Hobart brew. It's really nice.
Well, yeah, I was about to say it's quite good tea, isn't it?
It's just very drinkable. Yeah. It's not an insult.
Yeah, and it's been awesome having you on the podcast.
Thank you, Dom Dom.
You'll be doing a cafe catechesis this evening.
Yeah.
In Manurewa.
That's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's so people definitely go and check that out. Check out.
This podcast probably isn't going to be posted until about Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
But if you can, well done.
Time travel. Well, keep your eyes open for other things like that. And look up Real Good Friends, was it?
Heaps Good Friends.
Heaps Good Friends.
So Heaps Good is like a South Australian slang.
Yeah, I figured it was something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, check out Heaps Good Friends, Emma Farad. Keep share, like, subscribe to Gregorian Chat.
Keep challenging yourself, put yourself out there.
And definitely share yourself as well.
Seek those wet patches.
God bless.
Thanks for joining us.
Kia ora.
Bye. Hi, Mum. Hi, Dad.
We're going to cut that bit out. Hey guys, thanks for watching the podcast. I've got good news. It just got a whole lot easier to search for us online.
All you gotta do is search Gregorian Chat into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and Player FM for those who are on Android.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you later. God bless.